When people talk about famous scientists, they often mention a woman named Madame Marie Curie. But Marie wasn't born with that name. She was born Maria Sklodowska, and her nickname was Mania. Young Mania grew up in Poland in the late 1800s. At that time, people from other countries invaded her city and weren't very nice to Polish people like her. But Mania's family loved their country and tried to keep their own way of life. One way Mania's parents helped the family keep their culture was through education. Her mother was a school teacher, and her dad gave her science lessons. At the age of 15, Mania graduated from high school with top honors and a gold medal. Mania, who now went by Maria, wasn't allowed to go to university after high school because she was a girl. So Maria and her sister Branya joined a floating university where they attended night classes in secret locations where the police wouldn't find them. Although they learned many things at their floating school, both girls wanted to attend a real college. They heard that a school in Paris allowed girls to come and study. So the sisters made an agreement. Maria would work while Branya went away to school, and when Branya returned, Maria would go. Maria took a job teaching a businessman's children for 3 years. During that time, she also taught poor Polish children how to read, even though she knew the Russian leaders might punish her for it. In her free time, she studied chemistry, math, and physics. When Maria finally had enough money, she took the train to Paris. There, Maria changed her name again, this time to Marie. Marie entered a school called Sorbonne and studied so much that sometimes she forgot to eat. During that time, there weren't many girls who studied science, but Marie studied hard and completed 2 master's degrees in 3 years. She also won a scholarship, and people asked her to study metals and magnets. Marie looked for a laboratory to help her with her science project, and a professor named Pierre Curie offered his lab. The building was small and old, but Marie was able to do her work there. One year, Marie learned about a special substance called uranium. It gave off powerful rays. She decided to study rocks that contained uranium, and, after some investigation, Marie and Pierre were the first in the world to discover 2 new substances. Marie and Pierre named one of the new elements polonium in honor of her country, Poland. They named the other element radium, which means ray in Latin. But when they announced their discovery, many people did not believe these elements were real and that they gave off powerful rays. Marie and Pierre wanted to prove their findings, but their lab had a leaky roof and not much heat in winter, so they knew working there to prove what they found would be very hard. They didn't have much money, so they took on other jobs, like teaching, to pay bills. Despite the challenges, Marie and Pierre worked many nights in their lab and ended up proving their discoveries. Sometimes they would take breaks from working to watch the chemicals glow in the dark. Marie thought the bottles looked like fairy lights. Good news soon came for the Curies. Marie became the first woman to become a doctor of physics. Then they both won a very special prize called the Nobel Prize. Marie was the first woman in the world ever to win that honor, too. After this period of good news, Marie got some very bad news. On Pierre's way home one day, he was hit by a horse-drawn cart and died. Marie missed him very much. Marie knew that Pierre wouldn't want her to stop working even though he was gone. So Marie continued their research and took a position as a teacher at the university. Once again, Marie was the first woman to ever hold the head title there. Years later, Marie won a second Nobel Prize. Her daughter Irene joined her as an assistant, and together they put their discoveries to good use. During World War I, for example, Marie and Irene made X-ray tools that helped soldiers who were in pain. Finally, people believed in Marie's work, and she became very famous. Herbert Hoover, the American president at that time, gave her money for a new lab and more radium to work with. Marie and her daughter were ready to make more discoveries. Marie's daughter Irene went on to win a Nobel Prize just like her mother. Unfortunately, Marie did not get to witness the ceremony. As it turned out, the glow-in-the-dark chemicals she worked with had made her sick, and she passed away. Now we know that the chemicals she worked with can be dangerous, but Marie helped us learn that there are many good uses for radium and polonium as well. Today, scientists and doctors have turned her discoveries into new energy sources and treatments for cancer. Most importantly, Marie Curie's life reminds us that nothing is impossible if we believe in ourselves and work hard. Whenever you see something glow in the dark, think about Marie Curie, and maybe you'll be inspired to discover something too.